Hey everybody, this is Burton C with Fear Factory, and you're on MetalKills.com.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to have you on, and I've actually, it's been a few years I've been wanting to talk to you, so this is kind of a cool moment.
Right on. Well, I'm glad it's positive.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I used to listen to Digimortal driving down PCH, back in the day, and screaming along with your songs.
That's cool.
I think.
A good time.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, your music is definitely great driving music. Have the.
Right on.
I don't have a convertible, but windows down, no top down.
I personally don't like convertibles, so
yeah,
you're doing just fine.
All right, perfect. So I guess we'll get right into it. I know you have a North American tour coming up, and
Yep.
Just curious, what cities were you most excited to perform in, and why?
I'm excited to. There's a lot of places we haven't been to in a while. This is the first extensive tour of North America since the record's been out.
Right.
So I'm just excited to get to a lot of these places. New York City is always a good time, and I think LA is going to be a good time too, because it's the first time we've played LA since the record came out, and maybe the first time in almost a year and a half or 2 years. So I'm looking forward to the show here. I think it's going to be really good. We're going to be playing the Roxy.
Yep.
On June 8th, and it's the first time we've played the Roxy in 20 years.
Hey, and you know what? That day is pretty infamous because the day before that's my birthday.
Well, see, there you go. I mean, we did plan that,
Of course. Well, my sister's birthday is actually on June 8th, so it kind of works out.
Whoa, that's pretty. How'd your parents do that?
I know. Well, that's the funny part, is that we're not twins. We're 3 years apart, and I was only about 30 minutes off of having the same birthday, but I wanted my own. So.
So she's older?
Yeah, she's 3 years older.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's on June 8th over at the Roxy in Hollywood for those out there that are local. And then...
yeah, we're really excited to be back there and do it up.
Oh, yeah, man. So you said it's been over 20 years, right, since you guys played over there at the Roxy?
Yeah, 20 years. Last time we played was 1993. No, 93.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And yeah, it was it was all soul New Machine. That was the only record we had out.
Yep.
Pungent Stench opened up for us, and they happened to be staying at our apartment with us because they were doing a world tour, and they said, if you're gonna be in town, just play with us, and you can stay with us. So that was pretty cool. And I remember that night vividly. I don't know if you remember who El Duce was.
Yep.
El Duce was backstage drinking our beer. And I don't even think he saw the show. He was backstage drinking our beer.
No. That's funny, though. Well, actually, that happens a lot at the Roxy, because I know they set them up. Each room has their own fridge, with beer and whatever, and sometimes other bands will go into the other room and grab other people's beer.
Oh, that's the norm for any show, really.
Oh, yeah. And then the band that's in the one room where you take the beer, you just wait and pause and wait for their response, where they also come out and go, "Somebody fucking took our beer."
Yeah. That's right. You gotta put it on lockdown.
Exactly. You always gotta have somebody on standby, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, obviously, I'm assuming your schedule's pretty insane right now, between touring, writing, and, your family. How do you, stay sane and kind of manage your schedule between all that?
Wow. I don't know if I can stay sane, but, you just gotta have it planned out. You gotta have your schedule sorted, and, you gotta be prepared for surprises, but, because they always happen, but, you just gotta balance it, and, make sure you're happy doing what you're doing. I love what I do. I love being in Fear Factory. I love touring. I love playing music. So, and it's how I survive, which I'm very thankful for. So I just make sure I gotta keep working so I can support the ones I love, like my family.
Awesome. And I know that you have a few hobbies. You know, I think writing and photography. I also do photography myself.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you're into more so than the other, as far as like style, like photography wise and writing wise?
Writing, you know, a lot of my writing is very introspective. You know, for my personal writings, from my standpoint, when it comes to just like writing every day.
Right.
Yeah, it's personal. You know, it's almost like journal entries. A lot of times it's just like thoughts of what I'm thinking about, or a lot of it's philosophical for some reason, because I just, you know, I still have a lot of questions in life that'll never be answered, and it's nice to just ponder them all the time.
Right.
When it comes to photography, you know, it's a lot like, you know, I love landscapes. You know, that's, you know, I like a surreal landscape. You know, I'm influenced by photography, like, you know, classic, like Ansel Adams. It's, you know, it's just classic photography. But there's a, you know, modern photographer that I'm really into that's influenced my work a lot, and it's Todd Hito. And, you know, I was doing photography like that. You know, I was doing photography, and then I saw his work, and it's like, wow, I'm kind of doing it like that already, but it helped me improve and, you know, kind of, you know, more, you know, sculpt my ideas even better.
It kind of gave you a more open horizon of, hey, I can expand it and try this out, and, you know, give you some more ideas and more influence and motivation.
Absolutely. Probably. And I still shoot with film. You know, my go-to camera is a Canon A1.
Nice.
And so I still shoot on 35 millimeter, and so I sit and I get the shot, and so I'm not able to like view it on any kind of type of screen. So it's like I got to make sure I set it up. And I've been a photographer. You know, I've been doing photography most of my life, and so I understand the camera, I know how it works, and you know, it's a tool that I know how to. It's a tool I know how to manipulate.
That's awesome, man. Do you ever like show off any of your photography anywhere, like meaning any like art showcases or anything like that?
No, I've never been in a gallery, but I'm building a website, a personal website right now, and I'm going to have a gallery in it of my photos, and you know, I got a couple different series that I want to put out there, but. You know, there's a software program that you can get through Apple called Aperture.
Yep. And
you put it together, and basically you can put your book together. And
that's
so
awesome.
I'm gonna create my own book on my own website, and you know, release. You know, people can, if they're into it, they can purchase it.
Do you have a launch date for your website? Is it actually live, or is that something that?
No, it's not live yet. It's still being built, and it's gonna be pretty cool.
I guess once that's live, we'll have to reconvene and plug that in for you, and you know, see if folks out there are interested and they can check it out and, you know, see your work.
Absolutely, it'll get out there.
So you know, obviously your last album was Industrialist, which had some killer tracks. Some of my favorites on there were Depraved Mind Murder, Difference, Engine, and Disassemble. In the end, you know, as far as recording and writing, did it turn out the way that you envisioned? And what was the key, you know, to getting into the right mindset for you to write, you know, the lyrics and execute it?
Before we went into the studio, I spoke with Dino and Reese, and before I went into the studio with Dino and Reese, I did a lot of, you know, thought about our music in the past, and just kind of introspective, and what I realized that, you know, I learned that one of the elements I loved about Fear Factory in the very early stages of Fear Factory, and for the first couple of records, was the industrial element.
Yep.
And I realized that industrial element had been missing for the past, you know, few records. And so, with that knowledge, I spoke to Dino and Reese. I was like, hey man, guys, you know, there's an element that we need to reintroduce, and that's the industrial element.
Right.
And they both agreed, and we're like, you know, it doesn't have to be all industrial. You know, I don't want it to be all industrial, because that wasn't Fear Factory. We just need to reintroduce the element and create that hybrid of industrial metal that we became known for.
Yep.
So with that in mind, we went into the studio with that in mind. And so with with that in mind, we were working, and the fact that we were using drum programming really freed us creatively in so many ways. It simplified our writing process immensely, and it actually helped us because we were able to really play with the songs,
right?
Alter the songs, rearrange the songs so quickly and so easily in our benefit, in our favor. So the record's done. It turned out better than I imagined. There's the industrial element, but it became even more so. Like this, it moved forward, Fear Factory forward. I was like, wow, this is a record we should have wrote a long time ago. And conceptually, it just kind of all came together. Dino and I constantly speak about concepts, and even Reese was like, we talk about concepts, we talk about ideas, and we throw words around and thoughts around, and after I had this whole notebook of stuff, and once we started going in to get vocals down, it's like, Reese like, well, do you have any lyrics? I'm like, well, let me flip through my book. And so I'd be sitting and trying to get ideas for vocals, and I just start going through my book and just spitting out words and spitting out thoughts that I've written down, and just kind of all came together. And so, the story that was written, once I had all the lyrics done of every song, I had a template for a story.
It's awesome. And then also,
I wrote the story afterwards.
Did you? You wrote the story after you wrote the album?
After I wrote the album.
That's
awesome.
After
we wrote the album, yeah.
Well, I mean, since you're talking about the industrial aspect of things, I know that growing up, you were more so into the punk industrial scene, right? Versus metal. Was there? I know Ministry obviously is one of the top bands on the list that you were into. Were there any other industrial influences for you?
Totally. I was considered like Swans, a type of industrial type of band.
Yep.
To me, industrial was about rhythm. It was about texture. It wasn't about fashion. It was about a concept. It was about anti-establishment. It was about deconstruction, and that's what Swans were to me. That's what Einstürzen and Neubauten were to me. That's what Missing Foundations were to me. And Ministry, I learned about Ministry after I was fans of these bands, and I became a fan of Ministry when Land of Rape and Honey came out. And I was like, wow, that's, they really moved it forward. They really stepped it up. So, there's quite a few bands. There was, I really liked White House, Current 93, Throbbing Gristle. To me, that was just like, that's what music was for me.
That's awesome. I mean, obviously that's helped you evolve into how you write, not just music-wise, but probably even, story-wise, right? As far as like novels or scripts or anything like that. I'm sure you listen to...
Absolutely. All these bands I mentioned molded my personality and my mode of thinking.
That's awesome. Actually, I saw on another interview that you did actually recently, and you guys mentioned something about using technology to your benefit and recording the next Fear Factory album while on tour and on your bus.
That's right. We're gonna convert our back lounge into a studio, and we're just gonna start writing the new record and be able to record it, and just with technology the way it is and the way Fear Factory is, that's really all we need. And let's just utilize this modern technology that's moved forward in leaps and bounds incredibly over the past few years, and use it to our advantage, and just like, hey man, if we can do this, let's do it. And since we're going to be together for a couple months, and surrounded by music, let's create.
Well, I mean, how cool is that, though, right? So, I mean, you're on tour, you're already, enjoying that aspect, and you're writing the album, together. It's not one of those, all right, let's write some stuff, and okay, I'll see, when can we, write again, like, in 2 weeks or whatever, and by the time you're done with the tour, and you got the album done, you just have to go into the studio and save so much time, gives you more time to, do other things, hang out with your family and all that stuff, so that's cool, too.
Right, and, with this time together, you know, we can really perfect it and really make it the album we want, and not be rushed and not have a time constraint. It's like, hey, man, here we are. Let's just do it. And we're not under any type of time pressure. We're not under any type of studio budget.
Yeah, which is not the usual, right? Usually there's always some type of pressure. It's like, yeah, we need to get this done.
You know, contention does help build creativity sometimes.
Right, yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Well, metalkills.com is pretty much a crossover between metal, you know, horror movies, hot chicks, and stupid videos, you know. the norm, right?
That's all good.
What was the first metal album you bought? I know that you obviously are in the ministry, and a lot of and ministry can be considered obviously industrial metal and metal as well. But as far as like just like a straight metal record, you know, what was your first record album that you bought?
Even though I was like into punk and industrial, but back in a younger age, there were some metal bands, some metal records that I did like, and that I did get into. What was the first metal one? I think it was. Well, that's not metal. I was gonna say AC/DC Back in Black, but that's not metal. But I think the first metal one I really got into was Number of the Beast.
Nice.
That record I was like, holy fuck, this record smokes. It had an intensity. It had a vibe about it. It was in 9th grade when I got that record, and man, it was just like, it's satanic, and it's like talking about the devil, and it's like, oh, that's awesome.
It's everything that most parents would hope their kids wouldn't listen to, right?
That's right. That's right.
But you're like, but it's cool. Come on.
But it was cool. I liked it, and then I got into. Then I got Def Leppard's Pyromania. I bought Rat Out of the Cellar.
Oh, then I mean, obviously, metal is one aspect as far as like horror movies, and I don't know if you guys, obviously, you guys are gonna be recording while on tour, so I don't know how much Netflix or movie watching you guys really do on the bus, but
we do tons of movie watching on the bus.
You guys watch horror movies?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you have any favorites? Like classics or?
Oh yeah, there's always the classics to go to. They're always fun to watch. There's always something new. I mean, I think Dino just saw the new Evil Dead, and he said he was into it. He liked it a lot. We're just trying to see different things. I like seeing sci-fi films, space movies. And we just mix it up a lot. Comedies, but horror and sci-fi is always a good plus.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, right?
I think I've seen that once too many times.
Right. Exactly. Let's see. I don't usually write stuff down because sometimes that makes me more confused than anything when I'm talking.
No worries, man. No worries.
But as far as anything else that's going on, other projects that you're doing or are working on after the tour, which I believe it starts like in a week or two, right?
We leave Friday. For shows in Denver on Saturday.
Okay, and then after that, you guys are back over in. After that, you guys are going back in Europe, right?
Probably Australia in July, and then Europe in August.
Okay. Is there anything that you'd like to share to your fans out there, other projects, or?
Edu, John, and I have been working on a new Watchers album.
Nice.
We have 7 new recorded ideas that I'll be also working on while I'm on the road. So, I'd like to have a new Watchers album out sometime this year as well.
Sweet. Oh, I guess we're going to have to touch base a couple more times, right? I mean, once you have your website up for your photography and your writing, then also for the Watchers album.
Absolutely.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate your time, and, I will see you guys on June 8th. I'll be wearing a birthday hat.
Right on, Devin. It'll be your birthday.
Cool, man. All right, thanks, Burton.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, you have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.